So your back line today faced a pretty big challenge with that power from Seattle. How did you guys keep the clean sheet?
A whole lot of communication. And we knew going out, especially with a lot of new people on the back line or just in different places, in front and defensive center mids, we knew we were just going to have to communicate so much, stay so compact, keep our lines really close together, and that's, if they need to, they can go wide. If they need to, they're going to go over. We know to drop. So just tons of communication.
So you had a week to put that together, more or less. Did you take more of a leadership role during that week and also obviously during this game, and how did that work for you?
I think so, especially for the back line, where Catherine Reynolds has played, obviously experienced player, and has played center back before, but not for a little. So we talked about how I would be the one to set the line and call dropping, stepping. And Meg Morris has played outside back before, Mallory not so much. But everyone was on the same page, and so all week we kind of figured we're going to go off me and Catherine's directions and just know when to drop and step.
How did the communication with Michelle Vedas go?
Excellently. She is great. She talks constantly, and I can hear her, which is incredible too. But yeah, she is constant communication, even if it's just step an inch to your left. Like, she just wants everybody where she wants them, and it turns out for the better, so I listen to her.
Were you concerned about her health during the match?
2 times. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely was. When she went down, I got a little nervous, but I thought that she was never going to come off the field. She's so tough, and she knows how important this game is. And I mean, we have a great backup keeper too, but her communication and her experience she helped us win the game.
Emily, in regard to how you guys are playing against Seattle specifically, do you play your line higher? Do you try to push the line higher up to try to constrict the midfield, or are they just better at getting the ball over and getting you guys to turn and start that race?
One thing that we talked about with our back line specifically was, as soon as they picked their head up to kick it, we were just going to drop. We wanted everything to stay in front of us. So, and I mean, there were times when they knew that that's what we were going to do, but that's just the game, and so we just focused on everything staying in front of us.
You personally, when you see that they have their full set of midfielders, both Little and Fishlock, does that change how you view the game or how you approach the game?
Well, with Fishlock back in, it definitely takes a little bit of pressure off Kim Little, who has just been like not the one target, they have great players, but one of the main targets on their team. So having now 2 main targets in their midfield, it definitely spreads out our midfield a ton, and having Fishlock being able to nail those balls over the top, we definitely were wary of that. So whenever it was on her feet, we knew we had to be side on, ready to drop if we had to.
Emily, taking into account the fact that you guys are missing 6 U.S. national players tonight, is the draw more like a win, or do you guys still feel like there was a chance to get 3 points tonight?
Well, we had better chances in the first half, I thought, for sure. Second half, they got some more chances, but I always thought we could win. A tie is great. A tie, I mean, it's not as good as a win, obviously, but knowing that this is going to be our core group for the Olympics, I mean, just because we're missing a few people doesn't make us less of a team. Like, this is the core team that's been here the entire time, and people are going to come in and out this whole season, but this is our group and this is our team, so it doesn't make us any less of the Thorns. And so going forward, knowing that we have that heart and we are going to play the 97 minutes that we played, that definitely boosts our morale for sure, looking forward to July and August.
And this has been a situation you guys have faced before, with having a core that's been there from the beginning, having to deal with an international tournament. Do you feel that this core is better set for the time during the Rio Olympics than the team last year during the Women's World Cup?
It's just a different group for sure, and we're losing different players than we lost last year, and so it's just different.
Emily, when you get a question like that, your role since you've been here was much different in the past. You're playing a different position, and even today you're being asked about a leadership role in the back line. Does it make comparisons like that strange? Because it does seem like, in a way, your responsibilities are completely different this year.
Yeah, I would say so. Well, last year we played a different formation, so it was a bit odd, and with Kat gone, we weren't expecting Kat to be gone, but even as just a center back or a back line, I'm going to talk a ton because I can see everybody, do you know what I mean? So my role my role is more or less the same. I'm not the youngest person on the team anymore, so, and Ann Schatz called me a veteran, so, but yeah, if I have to come into a more leadership role, I feel capable in my ability, but just as center backs and backline, my role has stayed pretty consistent.
Emily, it seems like this team has a bit more grit this year, or actually maybe a lot more grit this year. You seem less willing to get knocked around and things like that. Is that an intentional mindset that's happened this year, or is it just something that's happened naturally?
Well, our new goalie coach, Nadine, before every single game tells us no kindergarten, which God knows what that means, translates in German, but basically don't come out like a bunch of kindergartners. And so that's her biggest thing, and that's the last thing we hear before we come out of the locker room. So, yeah, I mean, we get stats for our first and second balls, our 50-50 tackles after the game, so we see if we didn't get the job done on the gritty side of the game. So, yeah, for sure, that's way more in our minds this year than in the past.